It's 89.9 KCRW and Morning Becomes Eclectic. Our guests in studio this morning are the White Stripes, Jack and Meg. Welcome to our program. It's the first time we've actually had you performing live for us. Thanks so much for coming in and doing the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Really appreciate it. I want to talk about what you've been up to the last few months, talk about the new album, obviously, as well. And maybe that's probably the place for us to start. The new record was actually recorded back in Detroit after the last one, I think, Elephant, which you did in London.
Correct.
And I guess to start off with, I'm interested to know why you decided it was time to shift the show back home and work at home again.
I think it was sort of proximity, as soon as possible, sort of motivation that was going on there. What it was Get Behind Me saying. I think there's so many songs that were cooking. We had not planned a month before, like, we're going to record an album next month at all. It just seemed to be, we should get this done right now, because all these songs are kind of, I was just writing every day, and I just needed to get them done immediately, as soon as possible. And we also thought it would be a good time to try out a new idea, which was to bring our live engineer, who'd been mixing our live shows for the last few years. His name is Matthew Kettle, to bring what he knows from our band and put him behind the studio mixing board in my home, and see what happens, what he could bring to the live. What he does with us live, see what would happen if he put that on tape. And I think the results were really cool, because it's a totally different thing to mix someone in a live arena, in an amphitheater or something, compared to trying to put them onto analog tape,
And so many times, you hear bands talking about how maybe they're happy with the live sound and they never quite capture that on a record, or sometimes it's the other way around. I'm guessing, obviously, having worked with him for a while, there was something that he was doing on those live shows that you wanted to bring into the studio. Well,
it was finally, I got time to finally hear what he'd been doing, because I hadn't, I've never seen a White Stripes show.
Right.
So sounds like he's doing a good job.
Do you go through spurts of creativity when you're writing like that, and feel that you have to get stuff down, or are you pretty much just writing all the time?
No, I don't write all the time. That was a different occurrence for me. I don't think I had written a song in over a year before those songs for Get Behind Me, Satan, and just seemed there was such a flurry of things going on. I wanted to get it down before it was too late. Do
you know what triggered that? Was there anything in particular that was going on for you?
Just a lot of. I think just a lot of intensity going on in my life, and all around. I think everything was coming to a head in every aspect of my life I could think of, and it was just sort of a purging of everything, and just, I want to get it all out now. And when I was finished and we were mixing, I just felt like I had taken, a bath in magical mineral waters or something. I just got everything out of my system, and I was just happy and clean, just I don't know what it was. It was very, whatever they say, cathartic.
Yeah, that's a good word. And so going back home, recording the songs at home as well. Did you finish writing some of the songs in the studio as well, or were they fully formed when you actually started?
We've always been that way. Every album has had songs written in the studio. Yeah, a couple of them definitely were. I think some were written in minutes, and some were partly written and finished, while we were working on the record. I don't think any song was completely 100% finished before we started recording. I don't like to do that in any album. I never really had that. Maybe our first album, I suppose, because we had been playing for a while before we recorded it. So I guess a lot of those had been actually finished songs. But I think ever since then, hadn't really done that.
And these songs were not songs that you'd performed before either, right?
No, this was the first album. We had never performed any of the songs live before we recorded, actually. Even the ones before, like Elephant, I think we did actually, I shouldn't say that, performed live before we recorded. I mean, I guess, say like we recorded Elephant, and when we wrote Ball and Biscuit in the studio, but then we started performing it live before the album came out. I think that's the point my nephew was trying to make to us, was that, we hadn't performed any of those songs before the album came out. I guess the album came out a couple months after we recorded it, so we didn't have much time. We didn't even play any shows then. I don't know.
So
that was a long ramble, and I apologize for
that. No,
that.
That's good. It gives us an insight, because I think that the process of how songs come together is fascinating to me, and I know to a lot of our listeners. And I'm wondering how you actually write. Do you write on piano, on guitar? You originally played drums, right?
Yeah, I was a drummer since I was like 5 years old, and then most of the time for this band, I write them on piano or acoustic guitar. This album, even marimba, I was writing them on, and then we were. When me and Meg get together, we sort of cover that song. I think the White Stripes do a cover version of that song. I always feel comfortable when I'm covering something else. If I feel like it's from me and it doesn't feel right,